Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having a Cancer Sun and Cancer Moon in a natal chart. And I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. What I'm talking about is having that Sun-Moon combination in the natal chart, having a Cancer Sun and Cancer Moon in a natal chart. So it's obviously a strong emphasis on Cancerian energy, the basic character. In this case, the Sun being in Cancer can be very tenacious, sympathetic, caring, devoted, dedicated, protective, security conscious. And on the unconscious side, with the Moon being in Cancer, the emotional needs, the unconscious side is the same. There is, there in the emotional needs, there is that need to have the same thing, to have that home, family, to be to express sympathy and even to protect. And the thing about this is you have you can bring, in this particular example, you may bring those caring, dedicated, devoted, Cancerian qualities into something that could be Cancerian related. The Moon, and being the home as an example, it could be working as like a home caregiver, doing something with real estate, plumbing, laundry, such as a laundry business. It could be something with that involves the home again, something with home renovation, remodeling, siding, roofing, as some examples. And in the Cancerian Moon, want needs the same as I described with the Cancer Sun. And the unconscious side and the conscious side are one and the same, and may be more integrated if there is a conjunction aspect between the Sun and the Moon. It could shine the light, so to speak, on those emotional needs and on that unconscious side of the person. And the Sun in astrology reflects the true self, the basic fundamental character. And the true self, in this case being the Sun in Cancer, it can be very nurturing, emotional, changeable, temperamental. And when you have the inner self, it can be the same, can be very moody, fickle, changeable, temperamental. And the Sun in astrology represents our drive and motivation. So this person may be very driven and motivated, which is the Sun, to do things that they're simply at home with, it they're comfortable with, which is Cancer, zodiac sign Cancer. And the person may do so and really or I should say doing this in a way with more really more emotional, being that the Moon is in Cancer. It can be done with even more tenacity, expressing unconditional love, devotion, and dedication toward it. Now, in astrology, the Sun reflects our actions, and the Moon represents the reactions. And the actions in this case, with the Sun being in Cancer, can be very one. This is a one that can be somewhat prudent, but the actions are very are done often the expression of care about something. It's interesting because there's people, Sun and Cancer people, obviously can be very sympathetic. It could be the kind of person that might just do simple things that are expressed. The Sun is about our expression, and there can be the expression of care or sympathy, even if it's on a environmental way, clean, picking up something off a grass area, the trash or something. It's just very, it's things, Cancer may do things that can go, sometimes, basic things that can go unnoticed, that they show, certain care for. And the thing about it is, the thing about, the Sun in Cancer, the basic character may not, have a fear of criticism and ridicule, and does not, like to be, criticized. And going back to the fact that the sun again is about, our actions. The actions, with Cancer may be done with a lot of, dedication and sympathy and just care in general. When you have the moon is about, the reactions, and Cancer, of course, being a water sign, can be exceptionally sensitive, and the moon in Cancer being in its dignity, can be very, sensitive and emotional, and respond sensitive in a very, sensitive. It could even be a defensive manner to criticism and ridicule. So this could be a person, having the sun and the moon in Cancer, can be, very, exceptionally sensitive, emotional, be enamored with family, with ancestry. If I'm not mistaken, Conor McGregor, who's, I believe he's a mixed martial artist. Now you may want to confer that on the internet, but he has his sun and moon in Cancer. He has a Taurus ascendant, so the facade, that astrological mask, which is the ascendant, can be more stolid and impassive, but he's undoubtedly somebody that's very, emotional and sensitive, and I see that energy with him expressed often. He also has his Mercury in Cancer is a very strong, Cancerian influence in his chart. And anyway, going back to this, talking more about this combination. If the, let's say, if this is going back to, conjunction aspect, I'm talking about as an example. Let's say the Cancerian sun is at 1 degree and the Cancer moon is at 6 degrees. That would form, a conjunction aspect. And there may be more intensified focus. The focus is the sun, and it could be on the emotional needs, which is the moon, and which could include matters with home, family, real estate, safety, security, things of that nature. And it can be also too, the Cancer. This is really it's really about. This is the express. Sun again is about, our basic personality, our general expression. And this is again, in having the Cancer sun and moon. Again, the sun is our basics, is our true self, and the inner self is is the moon, and it's one, in this case, one and the same. The sun in astrology represents the biological father, and the moon reflects the mother. So this person could have, biological father, maybe a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply embody those characteristics. Person's mother may be a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody those traits. Remember that it's about, sun and the moon can be the perception of the sun, the biological father, the moon, the mother. The person may perceive the biological father as being very protective, caring, sympathetic, nurturing, yet temperamental and fickle, and may perceive the mother in the same manner. And the thing about this too is that the moon is about, our home life. So it can be, a home life where, being with the moon being in Cancer, where there's, a lot of protection, and there's this need for having that safety, that security, that nest egg, so to speak. It could be one that has a lot of nostalgic, items in it, photographs of ancestors from long ago, collectibles that are nostalgic, historic items connected with history, as some examples. So, and again, this sun-moon combination can be very emotional, to say the absolute least. But remember, it's important to look for contraindicators and modifying influences in the natal chart. person with a Cancer Sun and Cancer Moon, let's say, has a a Gemini, or even like a Capricorn ascendant, may not be, as emotionally exuberant as or come out, or at least outwardly come across that way as the typical Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon personality. I had a friend many years ago, if I remember correctly, he had a Cancer Sun and Moon, but a Taurus rising, and he came across, he really didn't express, he wasn't really emotionally exuberant. I mean, I didn't see it. I'm sure he was very sensitive, because having a Cancer Sun and Moon, but he just didn't express it outwardly. On the surface, he appeared, very placid, calm, stolid, and passive. He was somebody that did not really show, an overabundance of emotions outwardly. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.